Bad Genius is a Thai movie released in 2017. It's not your typical heist film because, instead of stealing money or jewels, the main characters actually steal exam answers. The movie is directed by Natawut Poonpiriya. It quickly became popular around the world for its fresh story and exciting scenes. The story focuses on smart students who use their intelligence to cheat on big exams. These exams can change their future. The film is inspired by real-life cheating scandals. It shows how far people will go to succeed in a competitive world. Bad Genius mixes drama, suspense, and clever tricks. It really keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. The movie is not just about cheating, but also about friendship, pressure, and making difficult choices. In the next sections, we will learn about the characters, their plans, and the lessons this movie teaches. The main character in our story is Lynn, a quiet but determined high school student whose intelligence sets her apart from her classmates. Lynn is exceptionally bright, always at the top of her class, but she comes from a poor family and studies in a small, humble room filled with secondhand books. Her father, a dedicated teacher, works tirelessly to provide for her, grading papers late into the night and sacrificing his own comfort so Lynn can have a better future. Lynn's greatest wish is to make her father proud. She dreams of studying abroad at a prestigious university, hoping to change both their lives forever. Lynn's closest friend is Grace, a cheerful and outgoing girl who brings laughter and energy wherever she goes. Grace is popular and fun-loving, but she struggles academically and often finds herself falling behind in class. Her true passion is acting, and she dreams of performing in the school play, but she must first improve her grades to be eligible. Desperate to succeed, Grace turns to Lynn for help with her studies. This simple request for tutoring sets off a chain of events that will change their lives. Another key figure is Pat, a confident and stylish student from a wealthy family. Pat enjoys the privileges of his family's wealth, wearing designer clothes and living in luxury, but he feels pressured to meet his parents' high expectations. Although Pat is not interested in studying, he knows he must achieve high grades to keep his family's approval and maintain his lifestyle. When Pat discovers Lynn's extraordinary problem-solving skills, he eagerly joins forces with her and Grace, hoping to benefit from her intelligence. Bank is another important character, a serious and focused student who is just as smart as Lynn. Like Lynn, Bank comes from a modest background and works late into the night, determined to succeed through sheer effort. Bank is known for his honesty and strong work ethic, always choosing to do what is right, even when it's difficult. He refuses to take shortcuts, believing that true success comes from hard work and integrity. However, circumstances eventually draw Bank into the group's risky plan, challenging his beliefs and forcing him to make tough choices. Each of these characters has their own unique dreams, struggles, and motivations that drive them forward. Their different backgrounds and personal ambitions create both powerful teamwork and intense conflict, setting the stage for a dramatic and unforgettable story. Lynn starts as an honest student. She gets a scholarship to attend a top school in Bangkok. She is quiet and focused on her studies. At first, Lynn just wants to help her father and secure a good future. Things change when Grace asks Lynn to help her during a test. Grace cannot remember the answers and is desperate to pass. Lynn is hesitant but finally agrees. She finds a clever way to signal the answers to Grace during the exam. The trick works. Grace passes the test, and soon other students find out about Lynn's skills. They are willing to pay her money for help. Lynn sees that she can earn money this way and help her father with living expenses. Slowly, Lynn gets involved in a bigger cheating plan. She is drawn into a world where intelligence is used for dishonest purposes. She faces new temptations, pressures, and moral questions. Lynn's journey shows how good intentions can sometimes lead to unexpected and risky choices. It all started innocently enough, with a few students quietly helping each other out before a big test. But as more and more classmates began to struggle, the requests for help grew. Soon, Pat, always the entrepreneur of the group, saw an opportunity. He suggested they could turn cheating into a business, offering their services to anyone desperate enough to pay. Pat offered to pay Lynn and Grace a generous cut of the profits if they joined him. The promise of easy money was hard to ignore, especially for students who rarely had cash to spare. With their combined skills, they realized they could help dozens of students pass exams at once, not just a few friends. The idea quickly snowballed, and soon they were planning something much bigger than simple homework help. Lynn hesitated at first. She knew cheating was wrong, But the temptation of quick cash and the thrill of outsmarting the system made her curious. The group debated the risks, but excitement won out. Together, they devised a clever system to share answers during tests, making sure no one would get caught. Lynn, always creative, came up with a secret code that only they could understand. She invented a series of hand signs and subtle pencil movements to signal answers across the classroom, making it nearly impossible for teachers to notice. The group spent hours practicing these signals before each exam, determined to get everything perfect. At first, their plan worked flawlessly. They managed to pass answers without drawing any suspicion. Lynn and her friends finished their tests with confidence, never once getting caught. The relief and excitement after each exam made them feel invincible. The students who paid for their help started getting high scores, and soon, rumors about the secret operation spread throughout the school. More and more students wanted in, and the business quickly grew beyond what they ever imagined. Eventually, Bank, a sharp and observant student, discovered the scheme. He overheard whispers and noticed the strange signals. At first, Bank was furious. He believed cheating was unfair and wrong, and he confronted the group about their actions. But after Bank was unfairly treated by the school administration, he began to see things differently. Feeling betrayed, he decided to join the group, hoping to even the odds. Now united, the group started planning an even bigger heist. This time, for an upcoming international test that would be their greatest challenge yet. Their creativity, teamwork, and determination made their cheating operation more successful than ever, at least for a while. But as their scheme grew, so did the risks, and the story was far from over. The first big challenge standing in their way is the stick exam, a test that's known for being incredibly tough and stressful. This is, a really important test for getting into good universities, so the pressure is like super high. Everyone in the room knows that their future could depend on how well they do today, and you can almost feel the tension in the air. The group has to be extra careful because teachers are watching really closely. The proctors walk up and down the aisles, scanning every student for any sign of cheating or suspicious behavior. Lynn and the others use their secret signals to share answers. They've practiced these moves for weeks, making sure they look natural and blend in with normal test day fidgeting. Lynn finishes the test quickly and, pretends to stretch or scratch her head. To anyone else, it just looks like she's tired or nervous, but her friends know exactly what each gesture means. But those movements are actually codes for the answers. Every little tap or scratch is a carefully planned message, part of a system they invented together. Grace and Pat watch Lynn and copy the answers. They have to be quick and subtle, glancing up just long enough to catch the signal, then writing it down before anyone notices. The plan is, honestly, really risky. One wrong move, one suspicious glance, and the whole operation could fall apart in seconds. If anyone notices the strange movements, they will all be in trouble. The consequences could be severe: expulsion, ruined reputations, and lost futures. But Lynn is very careful. She's calm under pressure, never letting her nerves show, and always making sure her actions look innocent. She uses her intelligence to avoid suspicion, thinking several steps ahead, and always ready to improvise if something goes wrong. The students who paid for answers get perfect scores, and, well, the plan works. Their risky strategy pays off, and the relief is almost overwhelming. After the test, the group meets to share the money. They split the cash quietly, making sure no one else sees what's going on. They feel proud but also kind of nervous. There's a sense of accomplishment, but also a lingering fear that someone might find out what they did. The success of this heist gives them confidence to try something even bigger. They start to believe that, with the right plan, they can beat any system. This first big test shows how smart thinking and careful planning can totally change the outcome of an exam. It's not just about luck, it's about outsmarting the system, and for now, they've pulled it off perfectly. The next step is the Stick International Test. This exam is held in Sydney, Australia. Passing it can open doors to top universities around the world. The group realizes they can make a lot of money if they help many students back in Thailand. The plan is complex. Lynn and Bank must fly to Australia to take the exam. They will memorize the answers and send them back to Pat and Grace in Thailand. The students in Thailand will then use the answers to cheat. Memorizing all the answers is very hard. Lynn and Bank practice remembering long strings of numbers and letters. They are under a lot of stress. They use music and patterns to help remember everything. The exam in Sydney is strict. Security is tight, and there are cameras everywhere. Lynn and Bank must act normal while secretly memorizing the test. Any mistake can lead to being caught, losing their future, and being banned from universities. This international heist is a dangerous game, with much more at stake than before. During the exam in Australia, things start to go wrong. The pressure is intense, and Lynn and Bank are exhausted. They worry about forgetting answers or making mistakes. The test is harder than they expected. Security officers watch closely. Lynn almost gets caught when she tries to send the answers. Bank also faces trouble, as officials become suspicious of his behavior. Both must stay calm and think quickly to avoid being discovered. Meanwhile, Pat and Grace in Thailand wait nervously. Communication is slow and risky. They worry that something has gone wrong. The entire cheating business could fall apart if Lynn and Bank are caught. The tension rises as the students race against time. They must finish the exam, memorize answers, and send them back before it is too late. The risks are huge. They could lose everything they have worked for. This section of the film is full of suspense, showing how dangerous the cheating scheme has become. After the exam, Lynn and Bank managed to send the answers back to Thailand. Many students use the answers and pass the test. Lynn and her friends make a lot of money. At first, it seems like a great success. However, the guilt begins to weigh on Lynn. She sees how her actions have affected others. Bank also feels unhappy, even though he now has money for his family. They realize that cheating does not bring real happiness. The school and exam authorities start to investigate. There are rumors of cheating, and officials are looking for the people responsible. Lynn faces a tough choice: keep quiet and live with the secret, or confess and risk everything. In the end, Lynn decides to tell the truth. She admits what she did, even though it means losing her university chance. The group faces the consequences of their actions. Their lives are changed forever. The ending shows that every choice has a price, and that honesty is important, even when it is hard. Bad Genius is more than just a story about cheating. It is a movie about pressure, ambition, and the choices we make. The film shows how smart people can use their intelligence for good or bad. The characters learn that shortcuts and dishonesty can give quick results, but they do not bring true success. The risks are high, and the feeling of guilt can be worse than any punishment. Lynn's story teaches us that being honest is better in the long run. The movie also explores friendship and loyalty. Helping friends is important, but we must also think about right and wrong. The characters must decide what kind of people they want to be. In the end, Bad Genius reminds us that our choices matter, and integrity is more valuable than any exam score.